Hello, welcome back. We're out on the Himalayan, as you can probably tell. We've just finished fitting the front tyre and the front disc brake. We fitted the back tyre last week, nightmare job, but I documented it on video for everybody else to have a laugh. So this is the first ride out on the bike since changing the tyres. The first thing I noticed getting onto this bike after the Vosges 800 is how it turns on the front end. Now, because I've not ridden this bike back to back with the old tyres and the new tyres, it's hard to tell how much of that is the tyres and how much of that is the difference in characteristics between the Vosges 800 and this bike. But so far, just after doing a mile or two, they don't seem that bad, these tyres. They're nowhere near as blocky and loud and hummy as I thought they would be, but it's early days yet, but at least it's dry to wear these tyres in. So I'm just doing a little bit of weaving from side to side to see how they feel, and they're not too bad. I mean, I wouldn't fancy putting them on 170 brake horsepower KTM or something like that, but for something with this little power, I think these tyres will be absolutely fine for me to do some green laning and some adventures on. As for the front brake, we've changed the disc on that to get away from the nodding. This disc will require some bedding in. It's not got the same bite as it used to, but I don't think it's got the warp anymore. There doesn't seem to be that nod when you're just coming to a stop like the old one did. So I'll get some heat into this disc, bed the disc into the pads, and that should be as good as we're going to get. The front brake on the Himalayan has always been renowned for being quite poor. It does have the EBC brake pads on this bike, which do make a little bit of difference, but still, it's never going to be a really good front brake. I must admit, I do have my concerns about what these tyres will be like in the wet, especially on a slick tarmac wet road. So I'm glad that I am going out on these for the first time in the dry, and hopefully I'll take the shine off the rubber, and then by the time I do need to ride them in the wet, they will be bedded in. So far so good for the first couple of miles. I haven't noticed any adverse effects in regards to steering input or road noise. It seems fine to me. The initial turn in just off the centre knobs, you do feel those quite a lot, but it's not too bad. I'm just trying these tyres at a really low speed just to see if I can feel or hear the knobbles. So at 20 miles an hour, it's actually not too bad. I do think you can feel the knobbies more at low speed because obviously there's more time between each knob touching the ground, and that seems to go away the higher speed you go. Not that this is a particularly high speed machine, but at 40 miles an hour you can barely feel them at all, and at 50 miles an hour there is no kind of adverse vibrations or anything through the tyres. And with the exhaust I have on being reasonably loud, you don't really hear the hum of the tyres any more than what I remember on the old tyres. So on this very, very smooth road here, you can see the shine on the road, on the tarmac. I can hear a bit of a hum from the rear tyre, and I'm doing 45, 50 miles an hour, and I can just hear the back tyre. It's not particularly loud, but I just thought it was worth pointing out. I can hear it. As a reminder, I'm running the Motoz Rallz rear and the Dualventure front. Both of those in the tubed version. So I am aware that the front tyre does have a slightly different tread pattern on the tubed and tubeless version. But because of this bike running an inner tube, I decided to get the tubed version, and also the tubed version fits this width of rim better. I had to go up a size width-wise on the rear tyre, so I'm running a 130/80/17 on the back of this tyre. The original tyre is a 120/90, but the overall circumference is pretty much the same. You can feel the transition from the centre blocks to the side blocks. I am feeling that there is a sort of a sudden transition from one block to the other just as you turn in. But once you get used to that and you know it's going to happen, it doesn't seem too much of a problem. It is autumn now in the UK, so the leaves are falling, and the trails will be getting more muddy. I will be taking this bike off-road around the Lake District trails. They're mainly rocky, slatey trails, but this time of year there will be some mud and some puddles, so I'm glad I have changed these tyres for that. I will be updating you all on how these tyres perform on-road and off-road, so please keep checking the channel, and if you do like this content, like and subscribe, and if you hit the bell notification, you'll see when I upload more details regarding the tyres on this bike and some off-road trails. So as ever, thank you very much for watching. Cheers, bye bye. Oh dear, it looks like that's rain over there. I'm going to get absolutely soaking on the way home.